Jay?
Okay, great.
All right. Hi. My name is Gina Sykes. I am a co-chair of KMAG with Rohit. We're each going to just kind of introduce ourselves really fast. I have an 11th grader at LASA. I have a 7th grader here. I took a year off between my two kids. I'm also the web person for Keeling Middle School. I also do the Hornet Herald. I'm the owner of the KMAG Facebook group, and somehow I'm up here. We're here to answer your questions, ask questions. I know the first year is a little bit intimidating. We've all been through it, so ask questions. And then I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hi, my name is Rohit, and I'm the co-chair, as she mentioned. This is my second year co-chairing this position, and I have an 8th grader here.
Louisa Williams, I have an 8th grader here, and I am co-treasurer with Rajal.
Hi, I'm Rajal Reagan. This is my 4th year at Keeling. I have a 9th grader at LASA, a 7th grader here, and a 5th grader at Kiker Elementary.
And I'm Nancy Bachschmidt. I'm KMAG secretary, and I have a new 6th grader.
All right, and that's the board. So we're going to tell you a little bit about KMAG. Jump in, because I don't have anything prepared. KMAG, you're all part of KMAG. Congratulations. By having a magnet student at Keeling Middle School, you are part of our KMAG group. We don't have dues. You don't join. You're just part of it. What we do is we raise money. We're going to have a fundraiser here in a few minutes starting. And we raise money for a little bit of time. All that money goes to the magnet program to support all the electives and all the core classes that are so important and so great at our school. We do that one time a year, and then we're done. We also have a Book People. I just said we were only going to do one fundraiser, and then I'm turning around and telling you about Book People. Book People also has a fundraiser. We'll talk about that in a second. You probably got a list home of what the books are that you're requested to buy for your English or social studies or language classes. Book People is kind enough to set up a display for us on the 2nd floor, and it has all the books that you can get, and we get 20% back on that. So that's a cool thing to do. I also bought my high schoolers' books there this week, so it's kind of a way to give money back to KMAG. What other things? We do lots of recruiting things. We do the parent coffees that most of you probably came to after you got your acceptance during the math placement tests, and other stuff. The most important thing, in my opinion, is these meetings. We have somebody come and speak and give you some insight into what's happening in the magnet classes. We usually have some department come and tell us about science or math or whatever. In November-ish, we do a high school options panel, which we get parents from different high schools to come and you can ask them questions about applications or not applications or what does the school look like or whatever. That's usually in November, and that's a lot of 8th graders come to that.
Yeah. And we try to have all the schools represented, like Louis and McCallum and Austin High and LASA.
Yeah. Okay. We work together with the PTA. Is Jane here? Jane Russo is our PTA president. We have meetings on different days because we try and focus these meetings on magnet stuff. But PTA is very important at Keeling. I encourage all of you to join. They also do a fundraiser in the spring, and it's called Central Stage. And it's a big party for parents. Don't bring your kids. It's adults only. We have a band that is made up of the teachers, and they actually perform. It's a great, great, big silent auction parent event. And they do, you'll see lots of things for PTA, as I'm sure you've seen in the Hornet Herald. But be sure to join that also. All right. Okay, we're going to rush through our committees because they're important and you guys need to hear them. And then we're going to introduce our new magnet director. Okay, Indu, are you here for Book People? All right. Fundraising. Meredith, I know I left you in.
Hi, I'm Meredith Saperi, and I have a 7th grade daughter here, and we feel like we have settled in through 6th grade, so all of you 6th grade parents, welcome. It gets better, and not a lot, but but anyway, I'm in charge. You all probably received this in the with your schedules this year. It's the No Hassle Fundraiser. And what that means to you is you don't have to buy any cookie dough. You don't have to call grandma and beg her to buy wrapping paper or raffle tickets or ugly art that your kid made that they guilt you into buying for a fundraiser. It's no hassle. You just write us a check. And think about what you spent at your elementary school. I know I came from an elementary school that was really big on asking for funds. And so we had a fall fundraiser and a spring fundraiser and a costume that you had to buy. And in the middle of that, you had to buy the ugly art and all that. I mean, I spent a lot of money on fundraising. And God knows they need it, but we need it more. So dig deep on what you can afford to give. Our goal this year is $55,000. It sounds like a lot, but we are already like getting there because of all these early birds who like to check things off their list. They've already been giving us money. So I feel like we've started today off with a really great bang, and I think we're at like 5,000 already, right? More than that.
Around 6-ish maybe.
I mean, come on. So that's awesome. So today starts the hassling of the no. So it's 5 weeks, and you are going to get lots of email, Facebook posts, videos, just to remind you that we're not going to hassle you again after 5 weeks from now. But the next 5 weeks we will hassle you. I fully admit that. But this money goes towards all of the things that can't be funded through AISD that make our program so outstanding and competitive with the private schools out there, and that is why we are so grateful that our kid got into Keeling, right? When you got that letter, you're just like, oh, yay, I'm so glad. So remember that feeling you had back in the spring and get your money out. So basically, we will take any donation. Every dollar counts. So anything that you can afford to give, we really appreciate. I averaged it out for one parent. It's about $62 per student. If everybody got out their little money and wrote $62, we'd be there. But some people can afford that, some people can't, some people can afford more. Do what you can do. And we have lots of options on our website. It's the kmag.org/donate is our thing. I've got more flyers if anyone needs to remember. And
It's KeelingMag.org.
oh, Keeling. I'm sorry.
KeelingMag.org.
You're right. I'm so sorry.
That's right.
KeelingMag.org. And but you can do reoccurring payments. So if you're thinking you want to give $100, but it'd be really better if you could give it in $20 increments, we've got you. You can do PayPal. You can do a credit card. Everything. So we really appreciate all of your help. The money goes towards funding a lot of the like advanced elective competitions, like the I'm blanking right now, but the Science Olympiad, yes, things like that have competition fees. We fund things in the classrooms like Chromebooks.
100 Chromebooks.
100 Chromebooks were purchased last year. Books for the ELA programs. They did the whole Harry Potter. They bought several Harry Potter series for the Harry Potter class. Photography equipment and TV camera equipment for KBTV. I always mess those up. So, anyway, it starts today. It'll end in a month. And if you have any questions, my information is on here. Feel free to drop me a line. I'm on the Facebook page. But really, what you can do to help me is to go to KeelingMag.org/donate and give me a little money, and I would be so happy.
And we have swipey things
Oh,
here.
swipey
so
things
if
here
anybody
today.
wants to donate right
Do it now, get it out of the way.
We can do it.
Check that off your list. You'll feel so much better. So much better. Anyway, thank you.
Can I ask you a question on that topic?
Yeah.
So last year, after sixth grade parent, so the last year after my son got in, the first thing we did was sign up for some of the communications, and I immediately got this list of stuff saying, we don't have money for orchestra. We have a serious funding problem. There's, I think it was a big issue, and it sounds like we almost lost a teacher over it. So I will enthusiastically write you guys a check. But if that is coming down the pipe, I would love to be able to designate it to that this year. So if that's a recurring issue.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let Gina.
Oh,
'cause that's
awesome.
kind of more of a PTA issue.
So my quick answer is going to be that, yeah, that happened. And that call for money came from the school, not from us. We tried to help fund that, and then things happened where we didn't have to fund it because the district decided that was okay, or however that went down. We're looking at that for next year, not this school year. Kenesha had said something yesterday about potentially we might need to look at that later on this year for next year.
The issue is they don't get their budget for the following year
Yeah.
until the end of the current school year. So they don't know what is gonna happen for 2019, 2020.
Yeah, that all happened right around spring break last year, and that's when we anticipate it happen. If it happens, that's when the news comes out from AIC.
Which class are we talking about?
So last year it was orchestra and Chinese, guitar. Those were the things that were part of the issue.
The assistant director post was getting disrupted.
Dee's here.
Yeah.
Dee can probably handle this. Can you handle this question?
So last year, because of the shortage in funds and the district as a whole, we were looking at some cuts in our staffing, and it was an AP, it was a director for a while, then it turned out to be a clerical position, and then we came up with the Chinese teacher, the orchestra, and guitar. And for the most part, I think everything was able to get funded with the exception of the clerical staff. So our current clerical staff will be sharing that reception area throughout the day. So when you come in, it may seem like they're a little frazzled, but it's because they're having to shift from one place to another and take over that spot.
And Dee, just to clarify, that was funded through the district?
That was funded through the district. Different departments downtown shared the funding for those positions to stay.
So one thing I'm going to add to that is, at the end of the year last year, we had anticipated we were going to be buying technology with a lump sum of money that we had last year. We couldn't get the approval for that from Keeling administration until they knew what their staffing problem was going to be. So literally, it was the last week of school that we
Really
bought
like the last day almost.
the last day we bought all the Chromebooks,
Yeah.
because we were holding that money to see if we needed to help fund those staff positions. So, you know, that's going to be up there in our priority when we have to decide what we're doing. I can't tell you that we can dog ear money, because as a 501c3, we're not supposed to do that. But I can't imagine that that wouldn't be a high priority for us.
And may I add that if you are really concerned about the monies that the school is getting, that to either try to be on the CAC or come to the CAC meetings, where you will hear a lot about the budget for Keeling, and most of the time this is the first-hand place where you get that information. So that way you can support us in whatever way we need at the time. So, there is a flyer on the table that gives you those CAC dates, but it's generally the second Thursday of the month at 4 o'clock here in the library.
You good?
I'm good.
Okay. Indu, you're up.
Good morning. Welcome to all the new Keeling parents, and so nice to see all the familiar faces. My name is Indu Ramachandran, and I'm running the book fair this year, and I ran it last year also. So I just wanted to talk really quickly, a few minutes about this. So this is another fundraiser that we have, just like, I mean, the No Hassle fundraiser that you've already heard about. This is at Book People. And if I brought some extra flyers, I'm going to pass them out. They do a wonderful job every year. This is what they've done this year. I brought some pictures that you can have a look. I'm just going to pass out a couple of pictures. They actually set up this entire exhibit for Keeling, and they have all the books that are required for 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade, and the choice books. It's a really good fundraiser because it gets us into the bookstore, which, I know we're all, Amazon folks, but it's nice to get into the bookstore every now and then, and I realized that yesterday when I was there. The second thing, support our local stores. So Book People is one of our own Austin local stores, so I love going there for that. And the third, most important thing for us, 20% of whatever you buy goes to the KMAG program. So we actually raised a significant amount last year. I don't know if I can actually say the dollar amount, but I'm not going to, but it was quite a good amount. And I hope to raise more this year, with your help. So I'm going to leave these flyers back there. Book People also, I left a bunch of flyers with them last year, so if you want to, you can go. If you forget to take a flyer, don't forget to say Keeling, because they'll give you flyers right there. So no worries if you don't have your flyer, but make sure you say Keeling and get 20% back to our KMAG.
And they never run out. I mean, they always have, they have plenty of books, so I mean, if you go somewhere else.
They forgot to put the order in for the Custom Witch.
Okay.
But apparently it's in, because I got a call yesterday.
Yeah,
I went there the other day.
Yeah,
I went
so-
there yesterday and it was there.
It was there.
Okay, good.
So there was actually what happened was there was a last minute snafu with some of the books, but it's been covered. And I was there last evening, and they said they had 3 or 4 Akata witches, and they've got another 15 on order, which they did a rush order on those. And they should have it in the next day or two. But all the other books are there. They've got stacks of all the other books, as you can see in the pictures, that if you want to have a look, I've glued in my passage, the back. So it's really beautiful. Take some time, go there. It's wonderful to be inside Book People. And they have 2 book fairs going on right now. They've got the Keeling Book Fair and the McCallum Book Fair. So, and it doesn't matter. You don't have to buy just the Keeling books. You can buy whatever you want to at Book People, anything you want to, and the proceeds are going to go towards our program. 20% of the proceeds, yes.
Do you have any extra flyers that I could hand out to my neighbors in my neighborhood that maybe don't come here, but have been longtime Cherrywood neighbors?
I would love that.
Would love to support
Yes,
a local
absolutely.
neighborhood school?
Yes, absolutely. I brought about 30 flyers today, and I'm going to leave them back there. But I've also been posting flyers. You probably have seen my name, and you're
They're
probably
on
sick
the
of seeing my name.
They're on our website
Yeah.
at keelingmag.org also.
Yeah, and I'm going to send out another email again through our listserv, and KMAG already has it, but I'll send out another email, so that way you'll have a copy of the latest flyer with all the books that you need.
And what date does it run through?
It's going to end on September 9th, which is the Labor Day.
Yeah, like.
No, it's the week after Labor Day, so you still have another week.
Put over a week.
Would somebody put it on the loss list, sir?
I haven't put it like this. I don't know. Candy?
Sure.
Okay, that question was not asked and
If
not
that
answered.
doesn't come through, I'm not a fan of either listservs, just so you know. But sure, somebody can put it on the loss listserv.
And I do have friends, so I'll reach out to them, or if any of you can, it'll be wonderful. Yes, sorry.
I also would, is it possible for them to also do for gift cards? Because that's a great gift for teachers. So would gift cards also be able to be 20%?
I'm
Good
guessing
question,
no.
but I'm guessing no too.
Yeah.
I'm thinking you actually have to buy things there at the store, which, if you have a Book People gift card, I'm guessing you'd eventually go there, but they need it during this period. So,
I buy gift cards for kids.
yeah. I'm probably no. In fact, let me,
I'm pretty sure
I'm
no,
pretty sure
just because
no.
gift cards are like money, they don't want to give you.
yeah, in fact,
You can
they-
ask though.
Yeah, oh, it clearly states here, not valid for purchase of gift cards, camps, or coffee shop purchases. I thought I saw that somewhere. Anything else? So it's there for a very short period of time, till September 9th. Please try to go there. I mean, I've been there with my daughter yesterday, and we went nuts, a little nuts. And I'm actually thinking about going back again, because it's just so beautiful. I mean, I do Amazon all the time, so at least once a year, it's nice to get into the bookstore and do this stuff. Yes?
I was just gonna say, if you haven't been to Book People, you should definitely go and support them. They have a ton of wild stuff that's not.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, it's a. For those of you who've not been to Book People, I mean, it's an Austin fixture, and it's one of those well, I wouldn't say keep Austin weird kind of things, but it's wonderful. They have author meetings, they have book signings, they've got all kinds of really cool stuff. But go there, go have a look. The Keeling exhibit is really nice. They take a lot of effort in putting it together, so go there, support our program. appreciate it.
Last question, I
Sure.
promise.
No worries.
Do you guys have a Smile Amazon account like
We
Maplewood
do.
Elementary?
Yeah.
I wanted to mention that because I just learned about it from my youngest that goes to Maplewood, is instead of going just to Amazon to shop, go to
Yep.
Smile Amazon and designate healing as your beneficiary
Absolutely.
school.
Absolutely.
And you can raise tons of money, or a little bit of money now.
Depending on how much you shop, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good idea too. When I sign into Amazon, it automatically pulls up the Keeling Smile thing for me.
Thank you.
That's about it. So I'm going to leave these flyers back there, and I have these little I have a picture of the actual exhibit if you'd like to see it, but I'll leave these back there.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Jane. Hi. I have you on my schedule.
Thank you.
You're up. Yes. Do you want to say anything?
Do you want to come up here?
Do you want us to wait? Do you want to think about it a little bit? Ladies and gentlemen, Jane is our PTA president, and I'm putting her on the spot to give us a PTA report. We were all watching.
And we also love KMAG. Two great organizations support the school. They do lots of great things for a magnet, and I pick up more of the old school stuff like hospitality and teacher appreciation. And we would be a great organization if we were put together, but for other reasons I think we're better apart. But I think it's great if you support both, and it is a rally year. It would really be great if we could have lots of participation, if everybody joined PTA, so we can tell those yahoos in the legislature that maybe they need to fix the funding formula. So I'm hoping we can get 500-600 members. I think we're only at like 100 and something right now. If we can get there, then we can help get 500,000 texts and parents trying to tell the legislators, please fix it. Yes.
And then the only difference is to join the PTA, you have to pay to get that. How do you get to 500? Is it by a small donation to join?
It's a $10 per.
That's all it is.
Yeah. And then there's a family membership you can do for $19 for 2 people. So, and then back to school, we'll have, I'm gonna go home and work on the store. So all the spirit wear will be on sale next week at back to school. If you wanna beat the rush, you can buy it online. We'll have it waiting for you. And then the Secret Pals program will get up where you can be a secret gift giver to teachers. That program will start to be announced. And Reflections is coming on for your kids to do that art program that probably a lot of you see in your elementary schools. So, thanks for coming. It's a great school. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nina.
All right, now we're going to introduce our magnet director, Robert's gonna.
Hi, so I'm going to introduce our new magnet director here. I'm going to go through her achievements a little bit, and then we can welcome her. This year marks Ms. Patel's 11th year in education. She is a proud graduate of the University of Arizona, where she was originally an astrophysics major, but switched to science education with an emphasis in physics after taking a few teaching courses which she fell in love with. She taught for 1 year freshman conceptual physics in Phoenix before setting off to teach ESL abroad in Prague, Czech Republic for a year, but then finally settled in Austin. For the past 8 years, she has served at the Del Valley ISD community for the first 5 years as a high school physics teacher, then moving into instructional coaching and administration at Del and Oja middle schools. On a personal note, she has a French husband, hence the weird last name on her email, and a beautiful 3.5-year-old son, Julian. That is actually starting French lessons on this weekend. They enjoy traveling and trying new cuisines together as a family. So let's welcome our new magnet director, Ms. Patel.
Well, before I kind of get going on what the direction and vision of the magnet program is, I want to just introduce a couple of our staff members. If I have to be on the hotspot, you guys do too. So I think everybody knows Dee. I hope everybody knows Dee. Title parent
support specialist.
Parent support specialist, amazing. Parent questions. Dee's probably better to ask than me at this point since I've been here for about a month. We have Alyssa Barrera. She's my administrative assistant. He also knows way more than I do, so a great person to start asking questions to. And we have a new academy director, Mr. Estes. He's like my partner in crime. We're learning the ropes of being a director together, so we're really excited to start this journey together. Just first, I'm just incredibly blessed with this opportunity to be the magnet director here, and I'm just looking forward to all the learning and the experiences of experiencing the magic of Keeling. I've heard so many amazing things about the program here. Clearly the parental support is something that I've never experienced in any of the school organizations I've been a part of, and so I'm really excited to have this partnership and work together towards really building a program that we're excited for our students to be a part of. First, how many 6th grade parents do we have here? Like new 6th grade parents?
Most all of them.
Wow, okay. All right, so welcome. We're learning all this together. I'm just really excited all the 6th graders have been walking in the hallways. There isn't like frantic running in the hallways, so that's exciting. You know, that the jitters are out, they're comfortable. They're learning their way slowly through the school, so that's great. You know, there's a little bit of lostness, and you can tell, but it's okay, we're getting there, and the students are getting used to their A-B rotations. We've been in classrooms already, we've been visiting our PLCs already, and we're excited to see that students are already experiencing class. You know, it's the second week of school, and you know, I think we're kind of done with procedures and routines and all the syllabus stuff, but they're getting their hands on materials. I just walked through some science classes the other day, and they're doing experiments, they're researching their own questions, which, as you know, I was in a 6th grade science class, and that's really exciting to see that they're you know, creating their own questions, and they have choice in what they get to explore. Basically, what I want to share is when I first was asked, you know, in the interview process for this position, one of the questions came up: what do we see a Keeling Magnet student being able to do after the 3 years of being in this program? What does that look like? And I posed that question to our staff at our first program meeting. And it was really exciting to see all of the characteristics and achievements that our staff would like our magnet students to achieve. And we created this beautiful word cloud, and few words stood out because multiple teachers repeated it. And it was creating a passion for learning. Many of our students already love learning, but creating a passion within a specific content area or something outside of their comfort zone. Having our students experience a wealth of different courses, but then outside of academics, we have great clubs and after-school activities and sports that our kids can experience. And one of the biggest things was being an active citizen. And I thought that was really amazing that our staff is so invested in having our students be aware of the world and how the content that they're learning in their course connects to the world. And so this school, with the diverse backgrounds that we have, with our students, with our staff, the wealth of experiences that we're bringing to the classroom, I think it's really exciting that we're moving towards project-based, well, really reality-based learning, where they can connect what they're learning in the classroom to real-life applications. This year, what we're specifically working on with our magnet teachers is delving deeper into their own content so that they can make those real-world applications, but then also teaching their peers and learning from each other. What do you teach in math? What do you teach in social studies? So that we could really create that interdisciplinary work. In the real world, we don't really work in silos. We use multiple content areas on a day-to-day basis, and that's where we're moving towards with education in general. But specifically for the magnet program, we're taking those steps so that our kids are comfortable with applying those different approaches. As far as the supports that we offer for our students, I see a lot of 6th grade students and 6th grade parents, and it's going to be challenging. It's going to be enriching, and that's the major reason why I feel like maybe you chose Keeling. And there's going to be times where your students are going to have that stress. I heard in October, apparently, there's a surge of stress that might happen, and that's difficult for 6th graders when maybe they never really experienced that before. And maybe this is the first time that they're going to have a challenge and have to deal with that stress. So what we want to see from from everybody that's interacting with our students and support from home is helping our students with those coping skills of how to time manage. Most of the time our students are perfectionists and they want to produce the very best quality work, but we want our kids to be kids still. So there is homework hiatus this weekend, by the way. Yay. So I just want to put those out there because those are on the calendar, and so those are great opportunities as a family to do something outside of academics, because I think our students can get that pressure, and they're still kids. They want to play. They need to play. they need to be bored. So. Oh yeah, homework hiatus. I just learned of this. Is a weekend of no homework, and so the goal of that is really to encourage that family connection and give you guys time to really spend that time of what are you doing in school, and ask those reflective questions, and not necessarily go do your homework and produce this project. So they come up fairly frequently. I think once a month.
Once every 6
weeks. Just kidding. Thank you. But check the calendar, because that is a great opportunity to say, hey, relieve that stress from your students, because they're gonna feel it. And as the adults in their world, we just want to encourage them that they're doing great. They are amazing, talented students, and they just need breaks every once in a while too. I'm just really looking forward to working with this team. So I know that there might be some questions, so I feel like I'll just open it up briefly.
Before you do open it up, could you tell everybody what you want them to call you?
Oh, you could call me Miss Patel, because I feel like that's a lot easier to pronounce than Duchenne. But my email is sapna.duchenne if you are looking for me. But I'm the only Sapna in the district, I think. So I feel like it's fairly easy to find me. But yeah.
All right, we're going to open it up to questions. I encourage you to ask general questions, not specific to your child, if possible. This is not the forum for that. Go ahead.
I have a 10th grader who's a grad and a 6th grader, and over the time we've been at Keeling, the direction has changed a little bit under the principal, and so I'm just wondering, do you foresee any sort of new changes in the way that, in anything, like diversity? I know there's been a shift towards diversity, which is great. Are there other things you see coming down the pipe that...
Right now, short answer, no. Short answer is no, because I feel like the direction that the magnet program has been going in is a direction that we're all jumping on board, because this is what's good for the community, this is what's good for students. So I don't see anything specifically changing, especially because 2 of us are new directors. This is our learning year, really. The interdisciplinary approach that we're trying to implement in the classroom is something that the school has envisioned in the past, and now we're just kind of putting it actually into practice this year. So I don't see the things that we're doing this year as anything different from what they've been doing. I think we're just trying to carry it forward and dig a little deeper into it. Back there.
Is the math department still doing a flipped classroom?
They're moving towards that. Several different, it really depends on the teacher at this point. Some teachers are more comfortable with that than others. I know in our,
You might want to explain it to me.
sorry, thank you. A flipped classroom is a classroom where the actual lesson would be taking place at home. So students might be watching a video and learning the content through a online way. And then at school, they actually focus on the practice so that they expose what the misconceptions might be. And that's where really the meat of the content is to put it into practice and how do you approach different problems and processes. So it gives this teacher an opportunity to really see the thought process of students versus lecturing. And that's kind of a model that a lot of schools are moving towards. We're not full-blown flipped classrooms. Some teachers prefer that. Other teachers I know in the higher level math courses like geometry, they are not as comfortable because they want to directly show what the process is and what the multiple approaches might be, and that's much more difficult through that flipped medium. So it'll depend on the teacher. I would definitely ask the teachers. All our teachers have a Blend account where they are posting a lot of their materials. They're posting their homeworks, they're posting maybe short quizzes. A lot of the teachers are even using the Blend modules in the classroom. Is Blend something new for people? Okay, I'm sorry. This is all new to me, so I don't know which things are new to everyone.
Well, and I'll just for answer your question about the flip. I think that, let's see, in the 2 years that we've been at Keeling, I think there's maybe been just a handful of times that my son had a flipped class. And I think some of them were in science. I don't even remember what the other ones were. Maybe math.
That's in math.
So you may not know. I mean, maybe math and maybe science, maybe another class. But
ask your
usually
child.
they know. Usually the child knows what their homework is, or you can go, like Dr. Patel was saying, you can go online and on Blend. I'll explain what Blend is.
Yeah, so Blend is something that you can access through the parent cloud, and you can directly see what the assignments are for each of our students. And all of our magnet teachers are encouraged to use the Blend modules so that you guys, it's really transparent for parents to be able to see what they're learning, what the content actually is, and then what your students' expectations are. So it'd be a great website to check out.
You got it. And I think sometimes too, if your child's teacher doesn't use Blend, because sometimes that is the case, they typically have their own website. Yeah, that you can go to, and it'll have a calendar of what they're going to be learning, and it'll tell you what your homework is. It's pretty.
You can set up notifications so parents get notifications when the teacher changes stuff. So you don't have to log in all the time.
So the one thing I want to say is if you do go in Parent Cloud on your computer and type in Blend in the little search box, it'll bring up a tile just like all our other stuff. At least for me, it's mixed with both my kids all together, so it's a little bit overwhelming. If you get the app is called Canvas Parent. It's not called Blend. And then you'll put in AISD as your district, and then it actually lets you select kids then if you really need to do that. There's also a Canvas Student for your children.
That's what I was going to ask. Were you able to add the app? Because I tried to add the app and it couldn't find Keeling, so we needed to add.
No, all I did was go to Canvas Parent, installed it, and then it asked you for a district, and I put in Austin Independent School District, right? And then it came up with my normal login for Teams or Parent Cloud or whatever, and I put that in, and then there's an actual drop down for kids.
There's also a URL that I actually had to plug in to get the app to load on my phone, and I have both the parent and the student loaded, so you can see everything they're doing.
And that's different than Teams. Teams is also an app for your grades. Just so you know.
10 different things to look at. Do you have a particular order?
Well, just last year, and I don't know if it was through Blend or Teams, but if you set up the parent notification, last year, if this teacher put in an assignment, even if your child turned it in, you might get something saying your child got a 0 on this or
missing grade.
The grades in Blend are not the official grades. Those are grades that as soon as they make the assignment, even though your kid hasn't actually gotten the assignment, it might be missing in the, so if you're looking for grades, go to Teams.
Right.
That's the
So
final.
Don't freak out.
Yeah, don't freak out about Blend.
Yeah.
I suggest turning off notifications on Blend because you get everything that you.
Our teachers are using that in the classroom itself too,
Go
so.
out for dinner tomorrow night because little Johnny hasn't told you what's on his list. So Blend,
Yes.
You surf through all the missing stuff and you can figure out what's going on in the next 2 days that he's not telling you about. Become a crisis tomorrow night, that's the heading of
No. There's one more question about that.
Yes, you mentioned interdisciplinary practice as a focus for this coming year or provision. What does that mean? Like, what's an example of that implemented?
Yeah, so right now we're in the beginning stages of our teachers simply, for example, we met with our 7th grade magnet team last week, and we had our teachers just map out their course. What are the essential learning components of each of the units of their course, and then we had them map out different projects, different real world applications that they already know and they already teach and they already use in the classroom with those units. And we're having our teachers learn from each other of, oh, at the beginning of the year, I have my students in science learning about distance and time. Oh, in math, we're doing graphing. That relates. Those are things that relate to each other. Let's create an interdisciplinary study where our students can learn something in one content, but delve even deeper into it in that same content into another course. This is really easily done. You know, I saw this done with social studies, with world cultures. The students are looking at innovations and inventions in third world countries where you know, there's poverty or there's environmental issues or whatever, and those things can relate back into their science classrooms, and they could delve into the science of it with that context. And it's a really exciting thing for students when they see that there's a connection between these things, and I could learn something in science and it could be applicable in our social studies class or in our English class. So that's where we're going towards. We're really in the infantile stages of that, but that's kind of the direction where we're hoping. Yeah. Back there?
Just a quick question, since we're talking about questions regarding homework and stuff like that, is there a policy for if a student has a question about homework that he or she can contact her own or his own teacher directly?
Absolutely.
And they have a way to do that?
Yeah, they should be able to contact their teacher through email. Our teachers also have office hours, which we're publishing on the website, hopefully by the end of today. That those office hours would be a great time to ask one-on-one questions or get homework help or, you know.
Like if a student is at home and he's like, well, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to X or Y or whatever, and I'm like, you gotta handle it, dude. I need to know, like, well, can he do that?
Yeah.
I assume that they do, right?
He's supposed to do that. That's the first step.
Yeah. You may not get a response right away. It might not be until the next day.
Yeah, I think we try to give our teachers at least 48 hours to respond, so it might not be that night that they get any specific help, but they should be encouraged to attend the next available office hour, or that response should come within 48 hours.
They can also ask classmates too.
Yeah, how to find a friend.
Peer
friends.
So something that's happened in our house is the homework assignment won't be posted, even though they said it was going to be posted. So they get home and it's an A-day and they're doing A-day homework and it's not there. So then a little bit of panic happens. So they email, well, the teacher's probably not going to post it that night because they're hopefully not on the computer waiting for emails from students. But that's part of the learning process, right? So the next day, it's a B day. I'm like, go talk to your teacher sometime. Well, I don't have time between classes. Well, you have time in the morning, you figure it out, right? That's part of it. And by the end of B day, it's usually posted. So it kind of screws up the system for doing homework on the right day, but it's okay. Like, let them figure it out, and then they'll know the next time how to solve that problem. So, but it does have a little bit of panic associated with it.
I have a question regarding students contacting teachers over email.
they go in Blend, there's a button to email their teacher through Blend.
Oh, okay, so it's just like a link and they click on it, and then my son has his own Gmail account, so he's not encouraged to.
They have their
Yeah,
own
they
Austin
have
ISD email address.
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
Just make sure that, once your child asks the question, that they actually go back in and see if there's a response.
Check their email.
Because sometimes, yeah, they forget that they actually have to go and check
Is
it.
their email in Blend, like the student's email?
So when they log in, they have to log in with their student ID and all that. That's, their email is attached to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
It's
there's
like
a button.
stu.austinisd.org.
I just want to encourage all the sixth grade parents to come to back to school night for sure. It's so helpful to meet the teachers and then give you all of this information of how they want to be contacted and what their expectations are. And it will be, you'll feel so much better after you do that.
You'll be really tired after it, by the way.
Bring your tennis shoes.
Wear tennis shoes.
There's a question right here.
I have a question about the magnet's commitment to foreign languages. Presently, my daughter's in German 1B with 31 students. So in lieu of having for 1A class, there were 2 German 1As. Presently, there's 1 German 1B with 30 plus students, which is a huge class size for a language. Then there was last spring the issue with the continuance of teaching Chinese. Being aware, so presently they could not, because they could not split that class into 2 classes because it came up after schedules were already done, but it also turns out that teacher's funding is divided partially to German and partially to something else. So presently, the population of the German 1A class is in the 40s. So having that be taught in one class next year is going to be pretty impossible, I'd say, to have a German 1B next year for the 40 plus students. So knowing this is coming down the pike and probably coming down the pike again for Chinese and possibly Japanese, possibly French, what is the commitment moving forward to actually teaching a broad spectrum of foreign languages? And teaching, because it's so crucial to teaching, as you probably know, at a young age, and even at middle school, that's not considered young. But is the focus going to be turning more solely to Spanish? I mean, what's coming down the pike? What do you see moving forward?
Yeah, I think, I know we value foreign languages, and that's why we require that for 7th and 8th grade magnet students, and I fully intend to continue with that commitment of offering different varieties. I think the question comes down to budget and what is allocated to us for the different departments and the different funds. I know for our German teacher, she does have to split her time between German and another course that is essential for our our mentoring course that's essential for our students that need that support. As far as, I don't know the full history, and I'll be honest about that, of the different struggles of funding the foreign language department. But I know that in the spring, we're gonna be looking at our budget and really seeing what do we need to ask for, is that something that we're gonna be asking for different support to continue to fund those courses. I know class sizes are going to be a concern. We're trying to make sure that in our core classes, in our core, 4 courses that are class numbers are small enough where our teachers can really, dig deep with our students. And so with our elective courses, unfortunately, things might happen, but we want to make sure that all our students have that opportunity to continue on with whatever foreign language that they've started in, to the best of our ability with what our funding is going to be about.
I'm curious, because if it's a required for 7th and 8th graders, I don't necessarily see that as an elective, I see that as part of their core.
Yeah, and as 7th and 8th graders, it becomes that 5th core at that point. And really this is gonna be something that we're gonna be looking into for this school year. It's the start of the school year, and so we'll have to give some time. So I apologize if I don't have like a direct answer right now for this.
No, I
but
think it's more to put it on everybody's radar, just like that gentleman said, is that, instead of us all being surprised in April that we're losing half an orchestra teacher.
Right.
And, you know, like, let's plan now.
Right.
Moving forward.
No, that's definitely on our radar. Yes, thank you.
One thing just to add, I'm not sure how many people are aware of this. I'm the CAC chair of an elementary school. But AISD right now, I think the budget this year is about $20 million in the red. And so that's what's causing a lot of this. The big thing for AISD is that the way that Robin Hood is set up for Texas is that we're sending about $530 million to the state of Texas. And so when you think about it that way, where we're $30 million in the red and we're spending $500 million to the state of Texas, you can see that. My only point is that legislature is in session this year, starting in January. So one thing that anybody in this room can do is to contact your local representative, send letters, join the PTA, make sure that we can send our voice and say, listen, like we're spending $530 million of our taxpayer money that's not going to get teachers at our schools. So take that opportunity, especially this year, to get your voice heard and say, completely agree, we need to continue to fight locally, but this is a state issue too that we've got to address, and this is the right group to be doing that.
So tomorrow morning at Thunderbird Coffee at 7:40, I'm just gonna go sit down with whoever shows up, so we can come up with a plan of how we're gonna write your sample letters, how we're gonna educate as many people as possible. Anybody wants to come put their 2 cents into it. I don't have what the answer is yet, but we'll start to figure out what it is that we can make everybody understand that one of the problems, a great way to understand it in AISD, is if they have to fix a toilet seat and that toilet seat costs $99, it actually costs AISD like $150 in money that they have to get into the taxpayers in order to pay for that $99 because it's being sent out somewhere else. So,
do the numbers of the PTA, how does that directly affect our power in the legislature this season? And can people be part of the PTA and not be a parent? Say my grandmother neighbors, my grandfather neighbors, aunts and uncles that kids went through healing, have already graduated, etc.
Yes.
So at the very minimal level, it gives you a way to help advocate for your children. So Texas PTA is the largest advocacy group for kids in the U.S. Texas is the second largest PTA in the U.S. If we have higher numbers, it just shows we have a bigger voice. Is that the only answer? I think it's a long process. Coupled with, so there is a dedicated advocacy person in Texas, and this is on the Texas PTA's one of their initiatives that they want to do. So the bigger numbers we have, it looks like we're a bigger group that we need to be contended with. There are other things that can be done that we can learn about through that, how to contact, how to go to rally day, how to go set those meetings, and quite frankly, we got to get out of Austin because they don't listen to Austin, and it's other people in Texas. Hopefully other people are facing these issues, and now it's becoming a bigger issue for everybody else. But it's a huge education. Like, it's taken me years to even be able to talk this intelligent about this. It's a hard thing to learn, and it's a hard thing to convince parents they need to care.
And in addition, it's not something that's publicized, so you may have neighbors who get upset about how much money is going to AISD. So having the conversation, which is not allowed currently on our tax statements, that actually that money isn't going to AISD. 51% of it's going back to Texas for unaccountable usage.
I'm going to table that discussion for just a second because we only have like 2 more minutes left.
Tomorrow morning, we can take it tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning at Thunderbird. If you have any more questions for Ms. Patel, now's your time.
So it's a transportation question. My child has been registered as a transfer student, so he's not showing up on Where's the Bus app. I've called the district, I've emailed the district, I've called this, they tell me to call the school because he's registered wrong.
I think for specific questions,
they told me this was happening with a lot of students. That's why I'm bringing it
up.
Okay.
I know that there was a couple that we've already worked through, and
So
Ms. Barrera.
with that, if you're having that issue, please just email me directly. let me know your student's name, and then I'll look into it. We did have that happen a bit this year. I can't point out exactly where it happened, but we are taking care of it, and we have resolved some of those already. So just go ahead and email me, and I'll take care of it.
Yes, ma'am.
So I have a question. I'm a 6th grade parent, so I know nothing. So I've looked on the website. Is there somewhere where it lays out like the core curriculum? You know, like in 6th grade there are 3 maths. So my kid is in one of those, but I don't know what that means for 7th or 8th grade. So
There is not on the website, but I am writing it down as a to-do list.
Does it exist? But it would just be nice to know, like, what's coming for 7th, what's coming for 8th.
And at back to school night, your teacher in math will explain that to you.
Okay.
They will.
And with the different teachers present from different departments, like
different
history will tell you.
Okay.
That's good.
And math is really the only place. Yeah, it is. But I was like, I don't know what to tell her is coming.
Yeah, you'll find that out at back to school night.
Okay.
And then KMAG will have a math options thing this spring as well. And they'll go into depth.
And if you go to the KMAG meetings from last year where there's actually a recorded one, you can see there's a presentation last year.
Yeah, that's actually a very good explanation on that.
Cool. Thank you. Anything else for Ms. Patel?
No, I just want to give a shout out to the KMAG Facebook group, who they've been, Mika and others who have been chiming in. Every time I have a question, I'm like, ooh, let me go check. It's already been answered. Everyone chimed in.
I'm a little bit of an addict.
I
know. You guys are clapping. She's an addict.
There's snacks in the back. Please help yourself. I don't
Okay.
take a bunch of donuts home.
Thank you. Thank you. Miss Gonzalez. Thank you, Miss Patel. Miss Gonzalez has before Miss Gonzalez says anything. I know. We're not adjourning yet. Just 2 more minutes. I want you guys to know Miss Gonzalez. She's also on our Facebook group, and I tag her a lot when I don't know the answer to something. So name with face. Go ahead.
I do want to let you all know that, just a reminder that Tuesday is back to school night, 5:30. We will have information available for you in the cafeteria, and the actual event begins at 6 o'clock in the gym. But you can come and join PTA, check out the KMAG group and all the other organizations. But one of the bigger things is if you plan to be a volunteer at Keeling this year, you will need to have your background checks done through Austin Partners in Education. We refer to it as API. The website is austinpartners.org. This year, in addition to me confirming your ID, you will have to sign an AISD confidentiality agreement. So any of you who have already done your background check and you've been notified that your background check is complete, I will need to see you sometime in the future to confirm your ID, and so that I can get you to sign the confidentiality agreement. I will make it a point from this day forward that at every KMAG we can take care of that, so you don't have to make an added trip to get that done. That is the biggest thing for us, and I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. If I do that at my elementary school, do I need to do it again?
You will go back into the website and then designate Keeling. You will not get an additional background check. It will just connect you to Keeling. Unfortunately, their website does not allow you to pick multiple schools.
So you can only do one or the other?
No, you can do as
You have to do
many
it
schools
twice.
in the district, except you have to enter and register for each campus individually.
You have to do it twice. One for there, one for
I need to bring my ID in twice and sign twice?
You will, at each campus, you will have to do the same thing. Yes.
Yes,
So, quick question about back to school night. Is there a way for us to support the teachers and the supplies that they need? Do they have sticky?
Oh yeah, they'll have a whole list of things that you can.
So the question was, what do we do with all the, well, first, please buy supplies. It was in the Hornet Herald this past weekend. It'll be in the next one also. They're looking for generic stuff like Kleenex and hand sanitizer, and there will be large boxes in the cafeteria for you to dump in. So please bring that, and then they'll divvy it up to whoever needs them.
If teachers had it specific once on their syllabus, should we take it directly to that teacher or just put it in the
Yes.
okay.
And the teachers typically have a wish list of sorts on their boards when you go back to school magazine.
Yeah, little Post-its, grab them in every classroom, and that's what other stuff they need for their classroom if you have time to do that. We are gonna move on to the minutes really fast. These are the minutes from last May. They should be one around somewhere. I need someone to motion to move the minutes for May 10th.
A second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No opposed.
The motion passes, the minutes stand. Thank you. I adjourn the meeting at whatever time it is, 8:32. Have a great day. We're up here for questions, donations, if you want to donate.
Donations, donations.
Thanks so much.